Yo, welcome back. Another episode, Neighborhood CEOs. I'm the host, John. I got my other guys in here, man. Bird and Lionel. Fellas, what's good?
What's going on, bro?
Y'all
How's it
boys,
going, fellas?
y'all boys all right?
Yes, sir.
I wrap up the week, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, we got another one, man. Bird, this your alley oop, man. You threw the oop on this one, man. We got one of the, local community guy, man. Um, a good dude, man. I know you spoke a lot about him, man. Told us a lot of the dope stuff you into the community guy, man. Health and wellness. We rapped a little bit before we got on, man. So, excited to see who we got, man. So Bird, let them know who we got in the building today.
Yeah, man. This is one of my guys, man. We've been locked in for about 10 years. Formed a friendship that turned into a brotherhood, man. We came together off of working with the youth and doing some things back in Louisa through the community, and man, just been locked in ever since, man. Josh has been there for me in some times in my life where I was in need, and he's always been positive. Always looks for the bright side of things, man, and he has this slogan that he goes by, keep going. And that's something that I've adopted in my life. And I try to utilize it as much as I can whenever I feel like I'm hitting this wall. So, we're proud to have him. Welcome to the neighborhood. My brother, Dr. Joshua Epps. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, baby?
What's going on, man?
Hey, this joint dope, man. I've been watching. This joint dope. Hey, I ain't really in the podcast, but I do watch this one. So this joint dope.
That's love. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate that.
They be talking about it, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Hey, so we do it sometimes, man. I be telling everybody, I mean, we don't do it like we supposed to, man, but I think we all into the same, on the same things, man. So before we get started, man, I would check in with you, man. We ask everybody how they doing. Everybody always say they good, man, but we do a little mental check with Josh, man. How you feeling, man? How life treating you, man? How things
Yeah,
going?
man. I'm good, man. I'm in a season of transition, man. And when you're in that season of transition, sometimes you just go with whatever comes with it. But I put God first, so I'm just letting Him. Every morning I say, "Hey, let me be your strongest soldier." So that's where I'm at. So I'm blessed. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Sometimes I'm confused. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. But all those things is what you call life. So I would say I'm blessed. I'm in transition, man. I can't complain. Yeah,
Man.
I have fun though. You know what I'm saying? Life fun
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Of all the people we asked, we ain't never got that answer. So hey, that's where we all should carry it, man. Just going life, man. We got bob and weave and pivot with it, man. So that's something that people can take with them for sure, man. And hey, so tell us a little bit, man. About I know you in the Ville now. That's where you do your thing at, and got your feet on the ground in the Ville. But where you from, man? And how you end up in this area, man, in this space, for what you can tell.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm from Oxford, North Carolina. A lot of people don't probably know what Oxford, North Carolina is. It's probably 40 minutes away from Durham. So I'm in the Durham, Raleigh area. Was born and raised there. I went to East Carolina University undergrad. I studied psychology. I minored in child development, family relations. Before that, I went to North Carolina A&T. Things didn't really work out. Still Aggie pride. Transitioned to ECU. I joined Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Fall 11. Started a nonprofit. My brother and I, entitled Move, Motivating, Uplifting via Exercise. From there, I transitioned to Washington, D.C. I went to Howard for grad school, studied psychoeducational studies, school counseling. Had a good time there. Loved DC. It's probably the best time of my life. And then I transitioned to Louisa. Had a friend in the area, came down. I ended up getting a house, meeting the bros, and been here 10 years now. And that's in that transition, I met Raymar, my brother, his family. They all took me in. And I was like, man, I don't know if I can leave. And I tried to leave a couple times, and I'm still here. So originally from Oxford, North Carolina. Been in the Charlottesville, Louisa area about 10 years now.
That's all.
What's up, man? Where you ain't no Carolina blue? You don't wear no Carolina blue if you from Carolina.
Carolina blue for sure, but it's definitely purple and gold with East Carolina, man.
Okay.
ECU, go Pirates, man.
Yeah, I've heard Bird say you was from Carolina. I was gonna put my Tar Heel blue on, but I ain't know if you was. I ain't know which side you was on, so I left it. I left it alone, man. But yeah, I figured the Carolina guy would be on one
Yeah.
of those topics, man.
I like Carolina, but I grew up going to Duke games. Like I ain't really
Yeah,
have
it
a
is.
ECU above all of them.
There you
Go
go. I take
Pirates.
that. I take
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I guess I got Carolina blue on today. We straight. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
we
saying?
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Yo,
I think sometimes it's like that, you know. And I grew up Fluvanna, Charlottesville area. Well, we call that town, you know what I'm saying? So UVA was the home team, but I went to VCU, so it's kind of like that thing where you gotta represent for who you paying your money to. If you had student
Yeah.
loans, so it's kind of that. It's kind of
No,
one of
for
those
real though.
things, you
No,
know what I'm
for real.
saying? Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what you
yeah,
see why I was like, man, I hear you. ECU though.
yeah,
Like
yeah, 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 yeah.
ECU, Howard, you know what I'm saying? Everybody like,
Uh
you went
huh.
to school at UVA? I did.
Uh
And I
huh.
love it, but it's still
Yeah,
ECU, bro.
that's it. I get you. I
HU,
get you.
Howard, yeah, man. And
Uh,
Phoenix, yeah.
that's what's
For
up,
sure,
man. So,
man.
uh, uh, um, Ray was kind of giving us some info on you, man. So you shared it yourself, man. You into a lot of different avenues helping people, and you said the slogan was just keep going. So, kind of like, what does that mean to you? Like, how does that show up in your everyday life?
Yeah, for sure. I know a rapper, he said he's been through every phase in life, and that's how I feel, man. And
Mm-hmm.
in some of those lowest moments, all I could think was keep going. And actually, keep going came from when I was at East Carolina University. My fraternity brother, he told me to start doing like insurance, right? So I was this young man dressing up, couldn't eat my tie one right, and I was going to these like insurance seminars, table with millionaires. It was like, hey man, you started to sell the insurance. You know, I would show up, I would soak up the knowledge, but I'd never sell anything. So it was one time I kept coming. I was like, hey, look, man, what is it that y'all do for procrastination? I feel like that was my like lowest point. I was like, I just keep procrastinating. I won't get things done. He said, man, you just got to keep going. And I was like, yeah. And then they come back the same question next week, same question next week. And all I could keep saying was keep going. You asking these millionaires, what do you do for procrastination? And all they could tell you was keep going. So from there, we kept going. We started a nonprofit entitled Move, motivating, uplifting via exercise. We won a humanitarian award from that. I ended up getting into grad school. I kept saying keep going. Went to grad school. Was the president of the School of Education School Counseling Association. You know, so I just kept saying keep going. Every time, you know, I started to quit, I just say keep going, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's in those low moments in life where you got to have something that keeps you going. And for me, it's keep going. So that's where that came from. It started off when I was in undergrad. And I kept asking these people with a whole lot of bread, like, bro, what you do? And they like, man, keep going, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it keeps perspective, right? Keeps you focused on the focus, concentrate on what you're trying to do, because you can easily, and we talk about this, recently, man, just how to separate yourself, right, and in terms of getting to your level of success, getting to your vision, and a lot of times it's just about keep going, man, because you right there. Like sometimes you just right there, and if you turn around, you stop, man. Shoot, you missed your blessing. You missed what has been laid out for you. So
It's
that's
real
a
cliche,
powerful
man, but when
statement.
you like really think about it, you're right though. It's like when you right there, that's the part that you gotta say, keep going. It's that competitive stamina as we talk about in sports,
Yeah,
man. You gotta have that competitive stamina within yourself.
Do you feel like when you right there, everything around you is falling apart? Like
Yeah,
you work so hard for something, and then you right there at it, and then this happens, that happens. Like, you ever experienced that?
yeah, I do. But those the times where I know we was talking beforehand, and those are the parts that I get the most excited now because I've been through so many changes, so many stories in life, and so many obstacles to get where I'm at. You know, that's that part where you know when you really tapped in, you know that it's called transition. But it's also
Mm-hmm.
once you get through that, it's gonna be a testimony that you're supposed to use to tell the next person. So I get excited when I get to those moments in life, man. Like when it gets really hard, that's why I say keep going because it's really tough and things are breaking down and coming and everything
Mm-hmm.
seems like it's not going to work out, but then at the end of the day when you go through it and you hit that last keep going and you hit that testimony, you like, dang, I did that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
nah,
fact.
did that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, yeah.
Did that.
for sure, man. I never asked you this question, man.
Uh-oh.
But I know.
That's my dog.
No,
So where we going with this? Where we
no,
going?
no, no. It's just like, you know, being from, the Durham area, Raleigh, Durham area. then going to DC for graduate school, another metropolitan area, and then landing in like rural Louisa, man. Like, what was some of your like toughest like transitions or challenges just for like the culture shock during that time?
Yeah, it was nothing to do.
That's a fact, bro.
It was
Zero.
nothing to do.
Zero.
It's nothing.
Like, I had to meet friends, man. It was nothing to do. Like, even if you drive 30, 40 minutes, I
I was about
mean,
to say.
still nothing to do.
Gotta
So
go. Gotta go that
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
it was part of a part of my life where I was like, all right, man, I got to challenge myself. So I knew if I came here, I could lock in because I was working on that doctorate. So if I stayed in DC, I was living on U Street, bro.
That was a wrap.
Come on, man. So for me, it was comfortable because like I had put myself in that uncomfortable situation. But when I got here, it was like one of the toughest things that I guess I ran into is that I didn't understand how people wasn't like working together because like everybody got these really big great ideas, but like people wasn't working together. It was like this person's doing that, this person doing that versus like why can't we just collab? And I'm a collaborative person. I'm an only child, so for me, I know how to make friends. I feel like I'm social, and it's not one of those things where it's what I do and you kind of stay over there. It's like, look, how can we work together? So that's kind of how I feel like I kind of took off in these areas that I started collabing. Right, I started doing the step team. I joined OBK. I was doing football. I was doing basketball. I came here originally to just be a school counselor and get up out of here. But I started doing those other things because it was like it was a lane to fill. It was a gap, right? So I was able to maneuver in that lane and collab and do some amazing things just because I felt like the biggest culture shock for me is that people wasn't working together. And when I was in DC, I felt like that's all that we did was like collab on events and stuff like that. So that was probably the biggest thing. And then also, I was like the only one that looked like me in some of the classes I was teaching. And then that was kind of a culture shock, and it was during the time of a lot of things was going on. So that was a challenging time, but it was people like you to help me down, man. So I'm still here 10 years later, man. 10 years later, Louisa.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But
That's
you,
what's
you
up, bro.
you make a good point, man. I think growing up in that area, I think there's definitely been moments for me like, damn, you do look around. It's like it's not a whole lot of community, and community is something that I feel like is an underrated thing because man, you got so many people that operate in silos and do their own, like you said, do their own thing, but doing maybe the same thing. And we talk about it a lot here, just looking at what's been happening in Charlottesville over the last, I would say maybe 5 to 10 years. There's been a collective, right? There's been a lot of collaboration, but that wasn't something that we grew up seeing. And that is a strange thing to see oftentimes in these small rural areas where you don't have and you would think it would be because it's not a whole lot of it's like communities and sections, right, of Black communities, but majority it is predominantly white areas. And so it is a little as I look back, man, like we did miss out on a lot, not having a whole lot to do, not because it wasn't a whole lot of community. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And you see it in a lot of places too. So yeah.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of like you said, we talk about it. Like we done talk to not everybody in Charlottesville, but a lot of people. And in some way, somehow, all of them connected to each other. Like we talk about like Jessica, Littles, Wes, Ballhawk, all those people, Will, all those people. They doing different things, man, but they always showing love to each other. They always willing to show up to each other's events or shout out each other, promote each other. And like you said, Lana, when we was coming up, we wouldn't go to Shaw, we wouldn't come to Shawsville because we ain't see that. You know what I'm saying? So we might have been together where we wasn't even far. We talking like we was 100 miles away. We talking about 15 minutes away or 20 minutes
Yeah, yeah.
from the city, but we didn't see it wasn't no community love like it is now, man. And I don't know where that comes from. Maybe we just didn't have the leadership, or we ain't have, what I'm saying? People grow up, man, and evolve, and things change, man. That's just the way it goes. But it's definitely more prevalent now, man, than it used to be, and it's only getting better as we as days go on,
Mhm.
man. People getting more, doing more building together, man, versus like you said, I'm doing the same thing as you doing over here that you doing over there, but I'm gonna stay over here, you stay over there, and we just gonna work against each other. We could get together. You know what I mean? So that's dope that we got that going on around here now.
And while you shouted out those people, shout out to Jess, shout out to Her Sports, May 2nd. She got her sports day coming out.
Oh,
Shout out to my dog Will. You know, I got my dog Fonz from Will with the dogs. You know, he back in cutting, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Wes. You know, he got the book. They not coming to save us, baby. Make sure you go get that. That joint going crazy. Shout out to Ball, his son going crazy on the football field out there, Thompson Lee. You can check him out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the people you just named, man, for sure.
Yeah,
I forgot a few, but yeah, that's where I saw you got that puppy from Will. That's when I was like, I saw you. Then I saw you at the Tonsler where you had the puppy out there. That's what it was.
That's my dog Fonz, man. That was his first little with American Bullies, Pocket Bullies. So I got Fonz. His my dog dad is Clyde from the city too. But Fonz going crazy, man. Fonz a good dog, man. Yeah. Will did a great job. Tap in with Will, man.
Yep. Yeah, he got some. He a bad. If ain't nobody, I ain't never seen nobody that can run 5-6 miles with 4 or 5 pit bulls through Charlottesville, man, with no leash, man. You know what I mean? He's stopping at the crosswalks. They stopping at the crosswalks, man, all through Charlottesville with no problem, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But so what you got into, man, as far as like in college and what you do now? When you was younger, is you always wanted to do that? Is that how you was raised, or you just like the lane you chose, the community, the working with the kids? Is that what you always wanted to do, or did something happen to make you decide to go that route?
The real answer is no. I didn't want to go to college. No, I didn't. The reason why I ended up going to college, and this is the complete honest answer, is because my cousin, Kiara Hawkins, she's a dentist now, but she went to North Carolina, UNC Chapel Hill, and she was a Delta. She used to invite my brother and I out there. We used to go out there, and it was just so much fun. I was like, man, I got to do this. So that was one of the reasons, because I was going to parties in high school. So I just could be completely honest. I was going there, and then my dad is a part of Omega Psi Phi fraternity as well as I. So I knew I wanted to join the fraternity, and I also wanted to play sports. So between those things, it was like, dang, you got to go to college. Yeah. But other than that, I wanted to be a DJ. Because my uncle that I looked up to, he was a DJ, and he was like putting his kids through, you know, like putting his whole family because of DJing. Like I was like, man, that's what's up. Then my other uncle is a barber. He got all the cars. So I'm like, man, I might cut hair. So I was looking up to them. Of course, my pops, you know, he Hall of Famer in football at Kentucky State, and that was great. But my uncles, they had the cars, and they was living, you know, a different life. So I was thinking about going that route. Yeah. End up going to ECU once I figured it out. Like, okay, I'm gonna get in school. And once I got to ECU, I'm really not into science, technology, engineering, you know, math. Those are really not my strong suits. I always like helping people. My mom worked in education. I always was doing things like that in the community. I was the vice president of SGA in high school, so I'm always involved in the community helping people. So once I went to ECU, I found psychology, and it just made sense. It was something I knew I wanted to start helping people. My school counselor at the time, Dana Small, he had a real cool job. He was a school counselor. I was like, man, I can do this. And from him, I was like, I want to grow up and do something like this. Once I went to ECU, I did psychology, joined the fraternity, met a lot of bros that showed me a lot of different things. And I was a admissions counselor at ECU, and I was working under the director of admissions, senior associate director, Ted Cox. And he gave me this office. I was able to drive the van around. I said that I wanted to be an admissions counselor when I graduated. And they was like, man, there really ain't no money in that. And I was like, yeah, I make like $35,000, $36,000. Like, ain't no money, bro. You know, I'm young. I'm like, bro, that's good, bro. And it was like, nah. So he was like, you got to go to grad school. So he was like, if you was to go to grad school, what school would you go to? I was like, man, at the time, I knew I wanted to do counseling. Maryland had a really good program, in Howard. He said, well, if you're trying to go to Howard, we can figure that out. Long story short, ended up getting into Howard, did school counseling, and from there, I knew that I really liked education. The nonprofit that my brother and I started at ECU entitled Move, Motivating Uplifting via Exercise. It had a focus on holistic wellness, and I wanted to perfect wellness education. So our nonprofit had that physically, spiritually, mentally, emotional, social, and occupational dimensions of wellness. So once I got to Howard, I couldn't critique or really explain what we were doing to my professor. He kept saying, "You always say the title, but you can't explain what you're doing." And I didn't like that. So he was like, "You need to really do some more research." And that's what got me into like holistic wellness and learning about the National Wellness Institute and incorporating wellness and actually focusing on, the physical, the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, the social, and all that should play in part for your occupation, and perfected that and ended up going to University of Phoenix and getting my doctorate in higher ed administration. And it's all focused on holistic wellness. I ended up getting into a program, NC State, for a doctoral program. And I was like, you know what? I want to challenge myself where I couldn't go to the professor and try to finesse my way. So I went to University of Phoenix. It was the best thing ever. It forced you to learn how to write. It forced you time management. It forced you discipline. And I tell all the young boys now, like, man, if you think about getting a doctorate, go do it. That's a challenge. Like, if you want to lock in, like that's something that you can really tighten down on. If it's something that you really focused on, that you really want to like critique and perfect, I say go try it. And that helped me to get focused, to get to where I'm at now. Now I'm at the University of Virginia. I work in the division for community engagement, equal opportunity. I oversee a program entitled Mocha Woka Poka, Men, Women, People of Character, Honor, and Ambition. I also oversee community engagement, community service for the UVA football team. I also do some educational consulting. So everything about me focus on community, giving back, working with the youth, implementing wellness, and I'm just spreading the love that way. Player development. That's kind of where I'm at now.
Solid, bro. Yeah. You know what's wild, man. So I'm a therapist. I'm a social worker, licensed clinical social worker, right? So my practice name is Circle of Wellness. It's branded after the National Institute, Six Dimensions of Wellness as well. And so our logo, man, we got it all, branded, but definitely, man, I'm aligned with what you're on. Just the idea of wellness, holistic approaches, looking at the whole person, understanding that how one area in your life can throw off other areas in your life. And I think we all try to focus on balance too much, but sometimes it's really focusing on the areas that's going to help you feel balanced, right? So I may need more spiritual and maybe not as much social, right? Or I may need more social and be balanced with my spiritual, all in all, man, like we all have to understand we individuals, but dope, man. It's like I would say, I don't believe in coincidences. So, everything you're doing, man, I'm aligned with, man. So you're doing some awesome things, man. That's what's
Hey, man,
up.
for sure. Hey, everybody
Yeah.
check out National Wellness Institute. It's a sixth
Yeah.
dimensional wellness. It was founded by Dr. Bill Hetler. I think it was 1973, something like that. I could be wrong. But National Wellness Institute, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, social, occupational. And the way that I teach it in my practices, and I'm also developing a course right now, hopefully UVA. But one of the things that you want to look at is at the bare minimum, every single day that you come home, this is what I teach my students. Every single day that you come home, you should put this wall. It's a circle, right? You can put it up in your refrigerator, on the wall, on the mirror, wherever. When you come home every day, if you could take a pencil or a pen or whatever it is and put a check mark, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, social, occupational. You might not have a job, your occupation is your grades, your school, whatever. You could put a check in each one of those 6 boxes. At the end of the day, you probably had a good day. At the end of the day, you probably doing okay. At the end of the day, you probably can at least hold yourself accountable. So what I do, instead of saying, "Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing?" Or "What's going on, Queen? How's your day?" They would say, "Epps, I'm at a 3 out of 6." And I was like, "Okay, where we at?" Well, I got a check in physical. We worked out today. I got a check in social. Me and my boyfriend, we talked last night. Me and my girlfriend, we had that conversation. So y'all good on that. And then they'll say, like, I got to check in spiritual because every night, I pray, but I'm missing occupational. I'm missing this, and that's a good start. So in my practice, in my studies, that's some of the things that I do. I was like, every day put a check mark in one of those boxes. Put a check mark. Sometimes they say I'm at 1 out of 6, and I'm like, okay, well, where that one at? And, I'm at spiritual. I'm gonna keep praying. Well, you keep that one right there, you'll be all right. So
That's right.
that's kind of how
That's dope.
yeah.
And both Epps and Lionel, both of you guys can chime in on this because I'm sure, and with students and in your occupation, I know, like with that diagram, you're gonna have people who struggle to start. And the most important piece from that is you got to have self-awareness to even begin to understand how to check those boxes off. So how do you kind of influence or help assist or prepare that person who doesn't have the self-awareness to even begin to understand what that entire picture looks like?
Yeah. So I would say, in my approach is I would say first you gotta focus on what the person wants to change. I think when somebody start having change talk, you want to be able to leverage that to get them to move towards the thing that they need to do. And so we call that motivational interviewing, right? You want to get somebody in, someone say, hey man, I want to, tap back into my religion, my spirituality, my source. But I ain't really got the time. I ain't really got the motivation. And, you get them to kind of process what they think is going to help them with, and so, you may set small tangible goals and try to get them in that direction. But some of it is just really meeting them where they are, really showing them a lot of unconditional regard. But at the end of the day, it's rolling with the resistance. When they coming in with the excuses, I ain't do this, I couldn't do that. Well, all right, well you did. So how does that connect with what you shared about so and so goal, or so you try to get them to see the big picture to evoke a lot of that change, man. And but sometimes it's really based on that person's definitely motivation to change, but they got to see the need too, right? They got to see the not just the need, but also how their life is going to look different, and they got to be invested in it. And that takes time because change is scary for a lot of people because they are used to their suffering. They're used to whatever they're comfortable. I'll say they're comfortable to whatever they've been dealing with, faced with. Change is scary because it's like, all right, I gotta let that go. I gotta let that person go. I gotta be different. I gotta do new things. I'm afraid of failing. It's layered. So that would be my approach, man. But Josh, what you got? What you think?
No, I was gonna say you hit there. Yeah, that was exactly right. That was exactly right. I asked individuals, especially my students. It's like we chase. What's your purpose? What's your why? What's your vision? What's your mission?
Mm-hmm.
And that's our project, right? However you want to put whatever order you want. Once you chase your mission, then you should align with what your why. Then it should align with your purpose. It should then align with your vision. And once you kind of align that, then you can kind of move forward to something else. A lot of people skip those things and try to go out and build a project or kind of start life or try to go through challenges or try to go through testimonies without identifying your why, your purpose, your vision, your mission, and those things. Because once you hit those hard places in life, those rocks, and then you're supposed to go back to those parts where what is my mission, what is my why? And that's what keeps me going, is because I know that my mission, my purpose, my why, is to do these X, Y, and Z. So once you chase that, I feel like you'll have a better approach to get to where you want to go in life. But you got to start there. And a lot of times they're like, well, I don't know. Well, stay in the unknown. I tell people, sleep in the gray area. It's okay to be in the gray area in life. But in that gray area, that's that transition. So it's okay to stay there. But while you're there, start figuring out what those things are. What are your purpose? What are your why? What are your vision? And when you start getting one or the other, then kind of move to the next. So I would say, it's okay to live in the gray area too, when people are not exactly sure where they want to go. And it's okay to be in that gray area in life. It's just called your transition. And when you go through those transitions, the best testimonies come out of them anyway. At least that for me. Yeah.
Well, that's a fire reframe though, like that transition. I mean, because I'm like, I'd be real, like, I'd be transparent, man. Like, I've been trying to adapt that mentality of accepting the transition, i.e., obstacles, challenges, bumping the head against the wall, right? And it's like that is a beautiful reframe when you really put it in perspective because you're seeing, what's on the other end of, like you said earlier, like the excitement from it. But I digress, man. It's exciting to hear that, man. Just the idea and that reframe around trials, right? Tribulations, and then the triumph, right? The testimonies coming after, So that's
Yeah.
a solid perspective.
Yeah. Hey, Lionel, before you got on here, man, we was doing what we always do, man. We was podding before the
Yeah,
light, before we
yeah,
recorded,
I
so we was
know, I
already
know.
we was in here rapping. So that's
Yeah.
like what we talking about now is kind of like fit that, man. Josh was kind of saying that he kind of like likes to be in like uncomfortable spaces, like when he's
Mm,
on his daily grind, whatever he got going on, and he was saying that when he gets uncomfortable, it's like he feel good. And I never heard it. We talk about being uncomfortable, what we do, how we maneuver, but he was kind of saying when he gets uncomfortable, it's like he feel good because he know that like it's something about to happen, or you got to get uncomfortable before you get your break or before you get your blessing. And we talked about it like last night, but we didn't speak on it in that way. But for you, Bird, whoever, for Josh too, like I think that's something that people should start like embracing, man. Like when it feels tough, we never like I haven't, I don't remember, maybe a few times, but when I feel uncomfortable, when something gets tough, I don't never like smile, like yeah, like okay, like it's cool, like I'm cool. Like if I was on the court, I would do that, like it's a tie game or we down 5. I'm like, no, we good. You're like, it ain't no big deal. But in life, we don't do that. We kind of get
yeah,
like,
true.
man, what I'm gonna do, man? Like, what's what I'm saying? Who I'm gonna blame or whose fault is it? But that's something that
Yeah,
he brought up, man. That I think is like everybody should adopt that because it ain't always good. But if you get comfortable with that, with those trying difficult times, man, it's like hey, you can't nothing phase you after that because you
mm-hmm.
cool with you being in the mud, man, for whatever's going on with you, family, business, personal health journey, whatever it is. So I think that's a dope way to look at everything, man. When he said
Mm-hmm.
that earlier.
Yeah, man. I'm doubt that uncomfortable, man. When you're uncomfortable, you should get hyped. You should get excited,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because if you don't, I don't know what people believe in, but I can only speak for myself. When you don't, now you starting to go back on your faith, right? So if you
hey,
got
I'm gonna
faith,
grab this. I'm gonna grab this charge. Y'all keep
you
rolling.
know what I'm saying? If you got
Yeah.
faith, bro, then you should already know what type of day it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But those challenges happen in life so that you can be tested on your faith because it's
Yeah,
already worked out. You know what I mean? So like when you go through those
true.
challenges in life and those tough times, and you really lean on that faith and you really get through it, and it's like, dang, I really did that. And you're supposed to be able to tell the story, right? It's not
Yeah.
bragging, right? You're supposed to be able to tell that testimony to help somebody else. My mom called me
Mm-hmm.
every day and say, make sure that you help someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the bare minimum you can do is tell your testimony to help the next person, right? So instead of saying, man, life is hard. Yeah, life is hard. But like when life is challenging, you should get excited because then you lean on your faith, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, because the enemy wants you to be against yourself.
For sure. For
You
sure.
know,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
enemy wants you to be. The enemy wants you versus you, right?
Yeah.
We used to see those cartoons back in the day where you had a little angel on one shoulder, a little red figure on the other shoulder, and then you gotta decide between the two. That's how life is every day.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
Yeah.
how life
Yeah.
is every single day, man. And in order for us to prevail, man, we can't let that voice that wants us to quit, that wants us to stop, that wants us to give excuses to prevail because we'll never. Some people never break out of that shell, man, and aren't able to see what's really for them because they can't master themselves. And I think that we have to start mastering ourselves to be a master of everything else around us. Because if we don't, man, we're just going to be stuck in a cycle of, that turn into excuses, that turn into blaming, that turn into negative behaviors, that turn into, it's just not productive for you. So, you gotta, like Josh said, you gotta be big on your faith, man, and sticking to that, and most importantly, believing in yourself as well.
Yeah.
yeah, man. Sure. I mean that's spot on. You ain't gotta be the most spiritual, most religious, nothing. It's just if you don't believe in something, bro, that's a scary walk in life, man.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
scary walk in life. You just
Hey, Lana,
going
what you
through the
say?
motion.
Lana, you said it before, man.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have something. You gotta have something
Hold
to
on
hold you.
to.
You out here blowing
Something,
in the wind.
bro.
Yeah, you gotta have
Something.
something to
Yeah.
hold on to.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
But I
Yeah,
can tell, man, when I work with people, I can tell when they don't have any source, any spiritual grounding, nothing to hold on to. because they like a leaf blowing in the wind. Anything and everything moves them, right? And no, it's kind of sad to see that that you don't really have anything that can ground you that's bigger than you, something outside of yourself or something within yourself, however you describe it. But yeah, it's unfortunate because you won't ever be able to get through any situations without believing I can get through this situation.
Yep.
And so I think the lack of insight around things like Ray said, just the lack of awareness, self awareness, man. I think that's a detriment to people's growth when you don't have awareness about, man, what I got to do differently, and but you'd be amazed, so many people out here so pessimistic about themselves and lives, man. It's like, man, like, who did that to you? Like,
Yeah.
what happened, right? What went wrong, right? I
Where did
think
we go
there's
wrong?
where, yeah, right, yes, that's a fact, man. Because it's so entrenched, like it's like almost embedded in people's fibers that their DNA almost is like they just can't shake or see something bigger and better than what they're seeing, and that's a scary place to be for me to even go there for myself. It's like, man, this is all I see. I can't see nothing better than this, and I've been toying with this question a lot, and maybe this is something that we could talk about a little bit. It's like, man, why am I so ambitious? Why am I so ambitious? Meaning that, like, sometimes ambition can get you in trouble, right? It can you can like Josh, like your thought process, the why, right? The purpose, the mission, right? Like, I'm all gas, brother. I'm all gas. Sometimes my ambition drives me into a situation I didn't process that clearly, especially when it comes to business, comes with getting ahead. And but I do think there's a part in life where when I'm unhappy with a circumstance, I'm solution focused. Let's get it. And maybe I'll forget some of those other steps ahead, but I'll figure it out, right? But it's question for anybody, man. Just kind of what drives y'all, man. The ambition, what y'all think gives y'all that gas, man. That just want more, and to not really things, but it's just what ambition can do for you, I guess.
Yeah.
And John, you said something on the last episode. We were talking about how we have to do things different from our parents.
Yeah.
I forgot how you framed it,
Yeah.
but for me, it's like that, man. I want to be able to, it was do the things that
Yeah.
they,
Teach your kids now what you learn late. Teach them early
yeah,
what you learn late.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hmm.
so teach
teach,
them the stuff that we just now figuring out in 30s and 40s. That teach them
Hmm.
that at 5 to 10 years old. So because we just figuring it out, like we just learning right now stuff that we should have, that our parents couldn't give us when we was younger because of the times, or they just didn't have the tools or the information, man.
yeah, yeah. So for me, it'll be just about that legacy, what I want to
Hmm.
leave behind for my
Yeah.
kids, so they can be able to, carry the torch,
Yeah.
and then, pass that torch on to their kids. So, it's a legacy thing for me. So, that's what makes me ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for me the same thing, man. Not so much just my kids, man. That's what I would say. And I was wondering if I didn't, when I didn't have them, which I got, they one of them 9, one of them just turned 7 today. But I guess 10 years ago I didn't have them. I don't know if I'm sitting on here doing this because I don't know where I was at, like mentally, spiritually. I don't know where I was at in life. I don't know if I might be out doing something else, making an excuse not to be at home, or saying I got to be here or there. You don't know. So you don't know
Yeah.
why God or whatever you believe in, why they put certain things on you, why certain things happen to you when they happen to you. But for me, it's just like my kids, man. So, cause I got somebody like I'm molding, man. So like I can teach them wrong. I could be teaching them to be little Bloods or Crips right now, and they would do it. Like whatever I teach them, like whatever I show them, like they gonna take it and they gonna roll with it. No matter what they learn in school, no matter what they learn at their grandparents, like what I tell them, like they pick it up, like they do it. Like what I do, they like mimic it, man. So the fact that I know I got like two little like shadows, that's like whatever I'm on, they on. So I gotta be on something. I gotta do the right thing. as far as like my health, you know what I'm saying, like business, because like our parents, maybe they wasn't taking care of themselves properly. So if our parents wasn't here and they passed away, say for some reason at 30 or 40, well, damn, that's a life that we didn't get to share with them, man. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can do so that mine can see me and be around me in my right mind and my healthiest state, and my most blessed. I want to give them whatever I can give them, man. As far as if it's a toy, if it's a trust fund, whatever I can give them, man, that's what get me up, and that's what give me that drive, man. So that's what it is for me.
For sure, for sure. For me, it's my students, man. Like, I love my students, man. Like, that's what do it for me. I'm chasing the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, that's something that I always said I want to get, and that's something I'm going to get. So, like, I got to continue to just help people, continue to do the right thing. But it's my students that keep me going. I got relationships with my students that I have able to establish like a family, right? I have to play the brother, the uncle, the cousin, the dad sometime, the friend, the coach. So it's like they keep me going. I don't have kids, I don't. So for me,
Yeah,
it's my students,
yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
man.
solid, man. And I feel like, it kind of ties in like the legacy piece, just the Nobel Peace Prize you're after and the work you're doing, man. The humanitarian work you're doing is making a way for you and will make a way for you. So that's beautiful, man. And I would say this too, man. Like, I became a dad at 20 years old, and I can remember like that sense of urgency of needing a job. And I was my senior year in college, and so definitely, man, that kind of what paved the way for me. And put that battery in my back at that age, where I jumped out there early, and I got just wanted to secure my family's future. And I think at the same time, man, it's I wouldn't always just put it on that, man. I think has been a personal desire, man, to be the best, to be great, to do great things. We all are attracted to greatness. We can have the debate who the goat is, who your goat, right? We can have that debate, right? But at the end of the day, they all great. They all did great, phenomenal things. And as men, I think we are drawn to that level of success, but also that level of discipline and focus and success that comes with that. Because we know it's not easy. It's not easy to lock in on one goal and be consistent with that one goal. And Josh, you mentioned getting your doctorate, and just that process alone, right? You like, hey, it made me a better person. It made me grind in a different way that I never grind before. So doing great things takes a great person to acquire it. And we often try to process that idea of, man, how to go from good to great. And man, she's like, just at the end of the day, you just got to keep going, right? You got to just keep putting your foot on the gas, but be strategic with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
another thing too, man, that I don't ever want to overlook when a lot of people ask me, how did you get a doctorate? How success? That's great and all, but one of the things that you got to remember is that you got to establish a healthy routine, and when you
Mm,
establish a healthy routine, you challenge yourself to adopt new disciplines in your life. That for example, I was vegan for 6 years. I just stopped this year, because I wanted to challenge myself to do something different. But I was vegan for 6 years. I got off Instagram for 3 years, and I said I wanted to rebrand myself as Dr. Epps, so I didn't get back on. I was running 4 miles a day. Like, you got to start adopting healthy routines that challenge you to think outside the box if you want to go from good to great. And that's what you call competitive stamina. So you got to compete with yourself. And a lot of times I say, man, I'm dating myself. I take myself on walks. I take myself out to eat. I might, take myself and do these things, but you got to be uncomfortable with being comfortable sometimes, right? And that just goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, man. You got to have those healthy routines, whether it's working out, whether it's walking, whether it's talking to the loved ones, whether it's fasting, whether it's praying, you got to do it. But a lot of people do it for a certain amount of time and then you'll stop. And that's where you stay at good. But to go from good to great, you got to establish those healthy routines and don't try to do it for someone else, right? If you feel like you fell off of a routine, it's your routine. Just know that you know what you got to pick back up at, and that's how you continue to elevate, right? And have that competitive stamina and have that why and know what your mission and your vision. But you can't attain those things if you don't have those healthy routines in life. And that's when I tell people adopt some type of theoretical framework. For me, it was a 6-dimensional wellness. It could be Maslow's hierarchy of needs for someone. But you got to adopt some type of framework, some type of lifestyle that you can use. Some might be the Bible. It could be whatever. But adopt some type of framework to keep you to have these healthy routines. That was a cheat code for me, is that you adopt those routines and stick to them and actually challenge yourself to do something that other people might be like, I never do that. Like, I never go vegan. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Challenge you to be a little bit better.
Yeah, that's dope right there, man. That's something everybody could need to do in some way, shape, or form, man. It's like we say, we've been talking about the same things all this whole time, but in different ways, man. Just getting uncomfortable, man. Challenging yourself, setting new goals, and that's like people do it like in a sport or on your job, but as far as your personal life, that's what we should be doing, man. So that's something like I said, I heard everything we talking about. I heard it before, but Josh, you giving it to me in a different spin, man. I ain't heard it, so I gotta step my game. I gotta challenge myself to something
That's real
something
talk.
different. I gotta pick up. I gotta pick some of these philosophies up, man. And when we close these things out, man, we used to get people to do something, Lionel, but I don't know. He already gave it to us, man. But we're gonna see what he got for us for the last, man. But Josh, before we get up out of here, man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you coming in here, man, sharing your platform with us, man, sharing some of your time, man, dropping some gems on us, man. And when we leave out of here, man, we like to let Lionel, he gives the benedictions on every podcast, man. So he gonna give you a little something, give us a little something, man, before we roll, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw the oop for you, Josh, to get a benediction. So bless the listeners, right? But all jokes aside, man, I really appreciate you coming through. I mean, we got to connect, man. I feel like you got some cool things going on, and I love how you are embodying those 6 dimensions of wellness in your personal life, man. Definitely inspiring me. Like John said, man, we like to give our listeners the last word. Excuse me, our guests the last word. And you've dropped a lot of gems on us already. But if you have any gems, or if you have any advice, man, any keys for the day for the listeners, what you got for the people?
Amen. God is good. I would say when you think about keep going, remember this. If a task is once begun, never leave until it's done. Be that labor, great or small, do it well or not at all. Always.
There it is. There it is, always.
Yeah. Sign Dr. Epps, man. Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, I like that, man.
We're not gonna even drop the mic. We're gonna pass it to the next person, man.
Yeah. Hey, we ain't got nothing for you, man. We can't. Hey, we can't go behind that act, man. Hey, we're gonna close the door with that one, man. But yeah, man, like Lionel said, man, Bird got you. He threw the oop, man, and we appreciate you, man. I learned a lot, man, in this little time. We chopped it up with you, man, and I feel like Lionel said, man, we gotta get together on something, or just if at an event or something, just to chop it up and keep doing what we've been doing, man. Try to show love, spread love, and what I'm saying, pass it on to the next, man. But like I said, we appreciate you, man. Y'all check Josh out, man. I mean, Dr. Epps, as Bird said, man. So y'all go find him on Instagram, and all that. But like I said, bro, we appreciate you, man. Hopefully we get you back on here another time if you got something going on, or if we can just get you back on here just to rap with us, man. We'd love to have you, man. But again, we appreciate you, bro. And best of luck to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Shout out to neighborhood CEOs, man. Y'all killing it, man. Shout out to y'all young kings, man. Hey, check out UVA football this year. We going crazy. And Mocha Woka Poka, we here too. What's up, man?
Hey, since you said it, I'm gonna check them out. But I ain't. But since you on here and Ball Hawk, I'm gonna check them out, man.
Check us out, man. Check us
All
out.
right, bro. All right, man. Peace, man.
All right, bro.
Love you, dog. Appreciate
love you too, dog. Love, brother. Peace.
Yes, sir. Y'all boys be easy. We out of here.
How can you pretend?
Now rocking with the elite.